This is January 17th, Friday evening. Welcome everyone to Mettle Labs. We're excited to have the Realish host and brain and the brains behind, a phenomenal channel that's bringing relevant content to the waves near you guys. And I've got Unique, I've got Barack, and I have Mika. Welcome, you guys.
Hold on, we got to stop. Bakir,
Bakir, okay,
Listen,
like
and now everybody destroys my name.
oh
It's not
man,
so for everybody. It's Ba and then care, like
care,
you
okay,
care for somebody.
yeah,
Bakir.
my bad. At least
That
I
was
put you
close.
in
Now
great
that was
company
close.
with Barack Obama. So
There we go.
Bakir, though, I got
There
you.
we go.
All right, but sorry for that, brother.
Oh
Nah,
boy.
you good. You good.
All right. So, naturally, when I see the content that you guys do, you all really kind of hit on some relevant topics. And probably one of the hottest areas that you all touch on is relationships. And so I see that you guys kind of put a spin on the balloon popping. And so let's start from the beginning. Like, what do you guys see as the state of dating at this stage, and people trying to get into relationships? Like, do people still want to get married these days?
No,
I,
absolutely not.
I think it's a goal, but I think it's unrealistic. I think a lot of people have unrealistic goals. I think what's being offered isn't what isn't anywhere where it's just not a good look. It's just not a good look. A lot of women want this 6-figure man, but they're not a traditional wife, and then it's just a lot of give and a lot of take, and it's not evenly and equally yoked, in my opinion.
Okay.
So it just makes it unrealistic.
I think in today's society, people want to have an idea of the traditional standpoint of a man's role and a woman's role, but then now there's like a little twist to it. And when you add a little razzle dazzle, a little twist to it, it changes the dynamic of how you date a person, and then everyone's way in dating is different. Like the courtsmanship is different. The way men are chivalrous is different. The way women react might be a little bit more masculine. Like the roles are shifting and switching, and so it makes it a little bit harder for people to know how to actually properly date and become married.
100% and hypersexual. I mean, I can
that
go
too.
most women on Instagram, TikTok, they are nude, and I'm not saying half naked. I'm saying there's nothing for the imagination nowadays for somebody to want to even take a woman serious. I remember when I was growing up, it was hard to even get like a nude picture. Like it was just now it's just OnlyFans. It's like
Right.
for $5.99 you can see everything. It's like, do you want that to be
And
a
that's why
wife?
they don't get nothing.
That's
That's
it.
exactly why they don't get nothing. I mean, it's it's almost like if you were doing window shopping, right? They would put something in the window to be like, to dangle it so you can come inside the store, right?
Yeah.
But if I put everything out front where you can, touch the fabric, you can try it on for 30 days, bring it back, more than likely you're not going to buy it.
You're
I
just gonna
already took
return it.
I already took my pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
right,
do you
right.
guys think that like so generations before, right? There was a sense of urgency to get married because it was marriage was looked upon as like a utility, right? So if I was, 17, 18 years old, I was expected to be out of my parents' house, in the next, as soon as I graduated from high school, had to figure out what I needed to do. So I had to figure out life at a much earlier age. But so does it seem like the sense of urgency of coupling and getting into a relationship is gone, or you just think that there's just no interest, and people just want to do themselves, like do
I
their.
think it's based off of how you are raised and how you are brought up. Because like I have a family that all they knew was marriage first. Like it was you go to college, you get married, you then start a family, buy a house, and that's just like the traditional American idea. But then you have some people that don't have that viewpoint, and but they still want it. But then you don't have people to look up to that can be like the what's the word,
Role model.
the role model, yeah.
Yeah.
And because they don't have a role model, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this and do that, and maybe I'll get this, that, and the third. I'm huge on the traditional way in dating, and it's a little old, like, but you have to date me for a solid amount of time, and then if you, after a certain amount of time, if we're not going into the next direction into a relationship, and then from there it's marriage, and then from there it goes on and on and on. But not everybody does that, you know. Some people are like, okay, it's okay if we sleep together first, you know, or it's okay if, you know, I have your child first, you know. So that you have to, that in today's society changes the dynamic in just dating overall.
I think sex comes first now, and honestly, and with that being the culture, that's the ideology. I of today's time, especially Gen Z. Let's speak for them. I'm a millennial, but you know, I'm gonna feel like you're not interested in me if we don't hook up soon. Like, cause
Well, see,
that's
but
that's
that's
what
because
that's what that's been normalized, and that's what I'm doing. Like, I don't want to be who wants to be that guy that took the girl out 5 times and you didn't smash, but you know for a fact somebody else smashed on the first time. You don't want to be that person. I don't care how much you like that girl. You want to take it slow. I mean, especially, Grant, nobody's a virgin. If you're a
well, see,
virgin in your late 20s, going into 30, it's almost like it's something wrong with you. And I think it's a culture shift. So I don't want to wait. And I don't feel like that's going to be a determining factor because it's hard. Because I'm going to do, and I said this on the show too, I'm going to do all the right things. We can go out to eat. I'm going to open the door. It's going to be a nice place too. So we're going to have sex. We're going to hook up. And it's just a matter of when. And it'd be kind of crazy if we didn't, especially if you let
nah.
somebody else have sex with you too. I'm just saying, somebody got to
No,
keep it
I'm
real. That's
saying,
a slogan on
I'm
our show.
saying, I'm saying at the end of the day, it doesn't, like, I don't know why women put themselves in that position anyway, right? Because if you do, right, I understand most women and most men are not going to be virgins or whatever nowadays, but the trade-off is for a woman at least now, if we're not going to be virgins, right? He's not going to treat you like you're a virgin. So now he has an expectation of something.
Mm.
That's a
You
fact.
get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when women are like, well, I don't want to have to sleep with you and things like that. Most women want traditional stuff,
Mhm.
but they don't want to be traditional.
That's a
That's
fact.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
That's a
And
fact.
Good point.
so when you look at it, it's like you're either going to be modern or you're going to be traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Most women want a mixture.
Mhm.
They want the man to be traditional.
Yeah,
Why they
exactly.
don't have to be traditional. And
Exactly.
it's not going to work because again, traditionally, he would get the girl, that wasn't already, having sex or haven't
Yeah.
had multiple men already.
Yeah.
So he was okay with waiting because she wasn't having sex.
Yeah, it's all about setting boundaries, though. That's what I think the
Facts.
biggest thing is, especially with women. You have to set boundaries because I feel like men, they set boundaries very early, like what they want, what their expectations are. And I think women overall have to do the same exact thing. And if you don't, then you just turn into a go with the flow type of girl, which turns into an untraditional type of lifestyle. And then you wonder why you never got married or just never got in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like looking at the three of you guys, I mean, you all, are an attractive bunch, and listening to you guys, you all are an intelligent bunch. So attractive and intelligent, is that a good thing? Is it a gift or is it a challenge in the process of dating or working towards marriage? Like, what's happening out here
I
with
think
that?
physical is more important than anything nowadays. And with us being physically appealing, we're looking from another lens opposed to that person. Not saying this matters in any way, but I am saying somebody got to keep it real. That's a slogan. But if you're overweight or you got you're just not attractive, you're not going to get the woman that I'm going to get. And that goes vice versa. So with me looking, I can kind of have it my way with my choosings, and it's like why would I choose somebody that's physically unattractive? And with that being said, you know, I'm feeding into the narrative because I'm going to get the person that looks attractive over the person that may have better values, over the person that was raised better, like Unique said, over like that's going to weigh heavier than with like morals. Let's in essence, it's going to weigh way heavier nowadays, and that's society.
I mean, I think physical attraction is one thing, but then mentally being able to stimulate someone and intellectually having a proper conversation with someone, it's like now you have it's a triple threat. And sometimes people don't know how to handle it. People don't know what to do with it. And so I think honestly, being attractive and being smart is honestly kind of hard. It's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because people don't either want to take you serious by your looks, and then when they find out that you're intellectual as well, now it's like, okay, I want somebody that's pretty and dumb, or I want somebody that's ugly and smart, but I can't have both.
Dang.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I'm. Oh, now I can see you guys. In my opinion, I get what Unique's saying, right? But I guess my thought process is when you are, well, this is for a woman. When you are attractive and you're smart, it depends on how you play it, right? Because there are some women that are attractive and they're smart, but they have to let the smartness be like overbearing. If you get what I'm saying. So meaning like you have to tell the man how smart you are, right? You have to show that, you know, I know just as much as a man. And the crazy thing, I'm thinking that, you know, a lot of us millennials and Gen Z women have been taught is that you can lead with masculinity. When if you just lead with femininity, you pretty much will get what you want.
Further.
Right.
You can go further.
But
Sure.
all of them are leading with the whole, you know, well, I'm, you know, I have a degree, I'm this, I'm that. Most people that I know don't even know that I have a master's degree.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's because there's no need for me to bring it up unless it's like a specific conversation. But a lot of women use that as, you know, something that they think is going to get them ahead with men. And it's really not, because that's a masculine thing. Like men are usually boisterous like that. Men don't really care about that from a woman. So
They don't even want that.
yeah. So, you know, if your smarts can't actually add to him, you know, like he has a business or something like that,
Exactly.
that's, you know, it's something he don't care about it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that, you know, you can't have a degree and you can't be smart, but I think it's played wrong in today's society.
Facts.
Yeah.
I think what's crazy about that is I was talking to a few of my guy friends, asking them, and it's funny because I see that a lot of the times the women that are beautiful, smart, charismatic, like they have all the things that like you would think would grab a man is not what a man actually wants. Piggybacking on what Mika was saying, I think I've seen a lot of the times where men actually wife up women that don't really have much at all going on for
telling
themselves. They just know how to be, they know how to own their femininity, and they know how to just be a woman overall. And like Mika was saying with the masculinity, it's not a brownie point or a trophy for you to say, oh, I have this and I have that. Like I notice in the dating world for myself that I don't need to brag about what kind of car, what type of house I live in, and this, that, and the third, because men don't give any craps about that, you know.
It get you on that hoop, D.
Yeah, and if
Tyrone
anything,
coming.
they're not gonna want to do anything for you, because it's like, okay, you already have everything. What can I provide for you? How can I be a provider for you if you have everything?
Yeah, men have a sense of, you know, they don't like ultra dependency, but they also don't want to not be needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me tell you what men want. I'm gonna speak for every man on this planet. Every man for
Go
this
ahead,
planet.
brother.
I know you're gonna agree with me on this too. We want peace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we want a submissive woman.
Okay.
And that's point blank period. We want somebody that we can come home to. And actually, matter of fact, I know this is going to resonate, that you want to come home to.
Yeah.
Because you can have the baddest woman on this planet.
Yeah.
But if you know you're going to come home and she's going to be nagging about something,
Yeah.
you don't want to go there.
Yeah.
You rather go to somebody else's crib that you know at least I can sit there, lay back on the couch. She's going to order some DoorDash and we can just sit back and watch Netflix all night.
Okay.
You know, and that's the men, we go to peace. And what you see, and I don't want to just label it for the black community, but we're all black on this set right now. Well, Mika's biracial. We'll touch on that. But you know, we will. we're gonna go to peace.
Yeah. And
Point blank.
I'm gonna add. I just want to add another little secret ingredient in that, and I'd say mutual agreeableness. Okay. And so, what is mutual agreeableness? What is mutual agreeableness? That is where the two of us can compromise. We can work together to create a shared vision, and then we can work towards building something together.
100%.
Like, you know, there's a piece that I love, and those around the office here, they hear me talk about it regularly when I talk about relationships. That relationships need 4 ingredients, and I stole this from somebody, but the ingredients are, and I'm going to say it from a male-female perspective, but the man needs to be good to the woman. He needs to be good for the woman. The woman needs to be good to the man, and the woman needs to be good for the man. Mm-hmm. And so oftentimes what you'll find is that, you know, you can go out and you can find someone and you can date someone and they can be good to you, right? So you guys on the weekend, you guys can have a lot of fun. But come Monday morning, you're worn out, and there's no one there to motivate you to get up and get your work going, right?
For sure.
And then vice versa, you could have it where, you know, there's a lady and there's a guy and he is not good to her. He disappears on the weekend. She's calling, she's worried about him, and he's not answering. He's a no-show, right? But that relationship motivates her to get in the gym, to take classes, to work hard at her job. So it's good for her, but it's not good to her. Mm-hmm. But if you add all 4 of those pieces together, you can have pure harmony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beneficial to both parties. Mm-hmm. And I just, like I was saying in the beginning, it's not beneficial. I'm gonna just speak for me. Yeah. I like to think that I'm a successful man in America, you know, by the definition that other people have set forth, yes, right? Sir. You know, but I think success is relative to me, just like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Mm-hmm. But never had I feel like, right, if it's no peace, you're not bringing me peace, you're not getting anything from me. And that's point blank period. And that goes to any woman that I involve myself with. No peace, it's nothing. You will get nothing from me. And again, like I said before, I feel like when you're looking from another lens, I feel like a lot of men go out their way with money because they have to. I don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to. And when you don't have to, you put yourself in another bracket. And that feeling of not having to is lovely.
I get that.
Lovely.
I think speaking of peace.
Okay.
I think men want peace. Mm-hmm. And going to the, what is it, generational Z, I guess. Mm-hmm. That's after millennials, right? Mm-hmm. Men want peace, but they don't know how to provide and create the peace for the woman to give it.
That's deep.
And that's where the disconnect is.
Who should give it first?
I think also, it should be both.
And can I ask a question? So if the universal thing that men want is peace, what is it that women want from men? If we were able to single out that main thing, so what would it be for women?
Safety. Women want
security.
Financial safety.
Would you guys agree with that?
Physical safety.
It's just security.
It's security.
Security.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does security look like? Because I know we're not talking about like Brinks, or we're not talking about like a guy who's got a gun in the house, like not that.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
No.
What men want a protector. That's security. That's insecurity.
You're talking about all that too, right? Mm-hmm. But when you say security, right? Most women want to be able to be carefree. and meaning in their relationship and in their household, right? So, for example, I could take out the trash,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I don't have to think twice about taking out the trash,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there's there's already expectations there of what the man feels that he needs to do, right? And that um if I'm a good woman, then I'm going to give him everything he needs to be that type of man. So I would say most of us in the millennial Gen Z um, age groups have not ever seen an actual functioning marriage, have not ever seen an actual functioning relationship.
Yeah.
Most seen baby daddies, most seen step parents and all that. And it's no knock against step parents and everything, but most people just have never seen functionality from an actual relationship. So my thought on it is, when you're a woman, you just want to be able to rely on what that man says he's going to do and have him do it.
Mm.
But
That's understandable.
Yeah, that
I
is
don't think
very.
most men nowadays know how to do it because they're lacking the same thing that women are lacking.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't seen that actual male be the head of the household.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, should Gen Z be together? Should they strive for marriage?
Should
I
who?
I Gen Z. Because that's what we're talking about. Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should Gen Z strive for marriage? Would be the question that just struck in my. I
I
think they
think
should
Gen Z does
strive for
more
marriage,
than
but I
millennials.
think they should strive for counseling first.
Mm.
You know, I and
I think
I,
Gen Z does it better than millennials.
Mm.
They at least no, they are very, to me, Gen Z, they lack the knowledge of how to actually do it, but they want to be actually more to me they seem to be wanting to be more in types of relationships. Maybe not the sense of what everybody knows as marriage, but a lot of Gen Zers are coupled.
Mm.
let me
I've
say this.
seen that
It doesn't look right.
they're more financial. They're looking at the financials more. They reject a lot of the norms about jobs, right? And the whole entrepreneur mindset. Like, a lot of them are more in the entrepreneur spirit. They want to understand business more. So I think they're better. They're a little. They're trying to go back to the track of traditional versus
Let
the
me say
millennials.
this.
The
It
millennials
can
is
never
following Gen
be.
X.
It can never
Mm.
be traditional when the man of the house is painting his nails. It can never be traditional when the man of the house is wearing these long, dangly cross earrings. It can never be traditional when the man is more like the woman in the household. That's as far from traditional as we getting. The women are more masculine than the men. No, I don't think that. Now you can say what you want to say about millennials. Now we got it is what it is. 90 babies. We know what it is. But we weren't painting our nails.
Yeah, I definitely can say the idea
We
of
weren't
roles have been shifted a little bit, or a lot of bit. I talk to women every single day at work, and they complain so much about men wanting to be passenger princesses.
a passenger
Yeah,
princess
like
is crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that one question where it's like a guy would be up and be like, "Oh, okay, big money," like to a woman, it's like cringe. Why are you even
But
like?
but
That's
but unique.
crazy.
But unique. If
Yeah,
if you're saying not you, but as
Mhm.
some of these
The
women,
whole
if
the
they're
group.
like,
Mhm.
oh, I got my own money, I got this and that, I got this and that.
Of course,
Okay,
that's
well
what you're
then
gonna attract.
you pay
Yeah,
for it,
Yeah.
yeah,
right? Like,
that's
that's
what you're
what
gonna
you're leading
attract.
with. If
But
you
see,
were
this
going
is
out
the
with a man
thing.
like that,
See, this is
Huh?
this is the thing though. Um, Rightfully so. Yes, men hear women say that and then they want to do that and act in that way. However, then men meet women that are more so traditional and are like, wait, no, you're supposed to pay for the date. And then he's like, well, that's not how I do it. That's not what I'm used to.
Yeah, I
You
got these
know?
hanging earrings. You paying for the date. You opening the doors. We're doing things differently today because I'm Gen Z. No, I don't think they're doing it better. I think they need counseling. And it might go back to what you just said, the single parent. You just seen your mother putting on makeup when you grow up. Now you want to do it. It's only natural, but I don't agree with it. I don't think anybody should agree with it. You only got one life to live. Live it. You know, but at the end of the day, nah, I don't think a man like that should be leading the family, you know, at all.
And so from a behavioral health perspective, right? If you think of like the last generation where a lot of children were raised without a father in the house, and so the dominant parent was a mother who was the breadwinner. Like, how much do you guys think that that's impacted the way in which those who are dating now view the world?
Tremendously.
Definitely impacts
Tremendously.
everything in the viewpoint and standpoint, because it changes the dynamic and the roles. Because now you have mama who had to raise a son by herself, and now he doesn't know how to actually properly be a man because he doesn't know what the roles are as a man, because mama is babying him. You know,
Facts.
she's not teaching him how to be a man because she's not a man.
Yeah.
You know, and then mama raising a daughter that's a single parent, she's teaching her daughter how to basically portray masculine traits, as in being the breadwinner or the provider. You don't need a man. And I feel like that changes the role of a woman.
Yeah.
Facts. And then conflict resolution. A lot of these men out here, they handle their business like women. But why? Why is that?
Yeah.
You seen your mother on the phone with the bill collector, like, give me 2 more days. You gonna really cut off the lights?
Yeah.
That's how your mother, like, it's and I see it with the men that I'm not even gonna say people I know, but I see it as a whole. Collectively, it's a lot of female traits that this generation has.
Yeah.
And me personally, I don't agree with it, because what are you going to
You're right.
create?
It's in the millennials too, though.
You're going to create a man that's just like that or worse. God forbid you pass away before your son reaches puberty. Now you got that feminine male trait with the mother's female feminine traits. And now you got another man. Now instead of one hanging earring, it's going to be 2 of them with a hoop nose ring. It's going to be a terrible combination. That's nasty work. That's nasty work.
Hold on, but that's also millennials as well, right? So
Very
I
end of
think
millennials. We don't claim the late 90s, like the 1990s. I don't claim them. They didn't grow up with Sega.
it's the millennials as well. I see it. I see it a lot, especially with as you were talking about with the a lot of the women are being told to go out here. You don't need a man, work a job, but you're forgetting about the women that are teaching their sons to be son husbands, right? So and a lot of women don't even know this. There's a fine line between where women have the boy as their son, and then they start treating them like their husband. So when they don't have a man, they depend on that boy to do this, to do that. He's her entertainment. He's around her 90% of the time.
Yeah. There's a Freudian concept which is called the devouring mother, in which she's all consuming. She consumes the children's ability to be independent, and so it's robbed while they're growing until they reach a point in life where they're totally dependent on their mother, and so we see that regularly, coming through our doors oftentimes with these frustrated, young adults who have never really been afforded an opportunity to be independent and to make their own way. So let me ask you all this. So seeing what we've seen in the last few years in regards to dating and relationships, what advice would you guys give or how do you guys intend on raising your kids, or what advice would you give to a younger person who was just beginning to contemplate what their pathway should be for dating towards, an intimate, to an end game?
I think you got to lead by example. If you want your child to see something productive, you got to be that productive person. Because I mean, ultimately, they're going to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you homeschool, as after school activities, they're going to learn from their peers for a certain extent. But if you're that person that's that role model,
Yeah.
which you should be for your child.
Uh-huh.
Now, I know that's not always the case. You gotta lead by example.
Mm.
And I think that's easier said than done. Obviously, you gotta work, you gotta pay the bill, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Responsibilities always going to take, they're going to take the lead at some point. But just gotta be that role model.
I think that's like a human nature thing to do, which is be the role model. But I think I would just teach from trial and error. Mm-hmm. I think that would be like the smartest example to give and provide, by teaching on what I know and what I've been through. And I feel like even then, children, they hear you, but they're not actually like, they're not really sinking it in, because they have to experience it themselves. And so I feel like majority of the people in the world have to go through it to understand it, mm-hmm. versus be told. And with that, it's like, okay, like here you're saying lead by example. So that's someone actually showing you what should be done for you to know what, but they have their own life to live. So I feel like there's really no blueprint on dating, on marriage, on relationships. I think the best that you can do is give the most amount of information that you can give, and then let that child and person grow up and develop into who they want to become. Mm-hmm. And then just, teach them moving forward on what's right, what's wrong, and it's still up to them to listen.
Thanks.
I think it is a blueprint. I just think most people have never seen it, so they can't implement it. Mm. Of course, everything doesn't go as planned all the time, but I think there is something that you can follow. And if you give, the idea is not to give the child, try to make the child's life perfect. The idea is to try to instill best you can, the best of whatever your knowledge is, or whatever your situation is, and put them in ideal situations to try to give them a leg up so they can be better than whatever the situation is that you're in. And you can be in a great situation. If you take a millionaire, I'm sure they want their kids to be, multimillionaires, billionaires. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Take on the family business. So I do think there is a blueprint, but when it comes to dating, I think the blueprint there, one, for men and women are just totally different. But yeah. Two, I think at the end of the day, you got to start teaching young people that a lot of this stuff is not recreational.
Yeah, I get that.
Thanks.
Speaking. So, with dating in the last couple of years, I mean, there's one name, one person who really was very controversial, in regards to male and female dating, marriage, the expectation that women should be fit, feminine, and friendly. And that's Kevin Samuels.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm.
And
rest
so,
in peace to the GOAT.
Okay, and so I kind of want to hear from everyone, from you guys, what was your perception of what it is that he was saying? I think it's universally received that his approach and that he was how he delivered was a little rude and off-putting. Yeah. But did he make points that needed to be listened to?
Kevin Samuels was an eye-opener that the world needed to see. I mean, because obviously, you would think it's common sense that you're not going to get a successful person that's going to take care of you and your 5 kids, and you just want to lay around, and you got a FUPA. Mm-hmm. You got a FUPA. I'm going to take care of you and your 5 kids. You got a FUPA, and that's diabolical work. That's diabolical work.
What's a
You
fupa,
know,
man?
a fupa. All right, so let me explain the fupa. So you got the stomach right here.
Yeah.
That's the stomach. That's the stomach. If you go right below the stomach, right over top of the vagina, that's the fupa. That fat that overlays the vagina. Like
Got
we've
you.
all
Okay.
seen a fupa at the swimming pool or the
Okay.
beach, and you know.
No, I seen a
Just
bad
say what
fupa
it
when I
is,
was in Jamaica.
a fat upper P area.
Okay.
The upper
Got you.
the upper
Okay.
P. We're gonna go with upper P. That's the new word for fupa.
All right,
But
I'm
it was a
learning today.
reality check because honestly, I thought women knew, but the fact that they didn't know is why his content went viral because they will really get on their shot. He would ask them, "So, how tall are you?" "Oh, I'm 5'5". "Okay, how many? What's your dress size?" About a 16. How much you weigh?" "Like 225." "You're not getting anything. You need to go to the gym and work on yourself." That's what he said, and people were shocked. They were like, "Oh my God, he told her the truth." The truth really hurts, but I thought the truth was I thought common sense was common, but it's not, and that's why it was great content. So rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. He came for a reason. He was here for a reason. Go ahead.
Nika,
See,
Unique. Any comments? I mean,
I know.
share your
I can
opinion.
go. I can go.
Okay.
I love Kevin Samuels. Okay,
Okay.
and I mean, at the end of the day, I'm all for telling people the truth. All
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I think the reason why it was so shocking to most people and most women is because most women are not used to hearing the truth. Well, at least
Mm.
in the millennial and the Gen Z era,
Yeah.
because again, that truth usually comes from your father,
Right.
right? Your mom will cuddle you and all this stuff. My
Yeah.
dad, he did not care, right? Like
Mm.
if you know how little boys are. My brothers used to, have a funk, and he'd be like, "You stink,"
Mm.
and make no qualms about it,
Yeah.
right? And that would just be it is what it is. A lot of these women are not used to hearing that, you know, the truth.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is Kevin Samuels was doing the same thing with men.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was
And the
bad.
reason
Yeah.
why it
That was
didn't
the
blow
worst
up is
one.
because men are used to getting told the truth.
Yeah.
Women will
Yeah.
tell them in their face, "You're ugly."
Yeah.
Women will say, "Oh, you're broke."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. "Oh, nope, you can't get with nobody like me." Who? And they got to take it, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you broke. You got to take it. You tell a woman that she's a bum, and she's
Mm-hmm.
like,
I can't
"How am I
believe
a
you
bum?" "No,
said
you're a
that.
bum."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it was necessarily that he was rude because a lot of what he said, most people thought
Mm.
or most people think. It's just the fact that he had the goal to actually say it at a time where everything was so politically correct.
Yeah. Got you with that.
Hmm.
Unique. You're taking your time with it, huh?
I didn't like him.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like he was very blunt and realistic. I could respect that about him. But I didn't like how the whole rating thing he would do, like a 10 is a Beyonce. First off, I don't think Beyonce is a 10. That's just me personally. I think she's like a 7.
Okay.
But
As
yeah, she's a 7.
The
She's a 7.
beehive
It's
is about
okay,
to
you know?
attack us.
That's
Bee, if we
fine,
get
that's
stung,
fine.
y'all
She's
see
a beautiful
why.
girl, but I just feel like she wasn't the top rated 10. And I feel like it was like very belittling in a way where it's like, oh, rate yourself, you know? Like, you're telling a woman to rate herself. Of course, like she can't be confident about herself. Maybe she's really not a freaking 8, 9, 10. But if that's how she feels, then let her be confident. Let her feel the way she feels. If she feels like she's the most beautiful woman in the world, a man that's for her is going to feel the same way, you know? So why try to humble her and make her a 6 or 5 or 2?
Because he's trying to give her a realistic outlet. Like if okay, you want you want your kids to be confident, especially a little girl, right?
yeah.
But if you send them out there thinking something that everybody else can see ain't it,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
delusional.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the thing. Most of those women were delusional. Like, you are 230 pounds and you got 5 kids.
Telling you.
I think his tone and his delivery is what I just did not like.
Yeah, it's
It was
hard for you to
very
get past that.
belittling. Yeah, it was very belittling.
Yeah.
My thing, tell me if I got a booger in my nose.
that's because by the time he got to
He walking around.
he used to start off though very like, what do you call it? Like, very soft. By the time he would get to sounding like that, it's because they would be going, I'm this, I'm no.
You're not. Yeah.
Like,
You're
you're not.
Yeah.
Very unrealistic. I know me. It's a certain quality of woman that I'm going to even entertain, even if you're just somebody that I'm sleeping with. Like, and it's diabolical work to really think that you got these 5 kids, you 250 pounds, and you think that I'm going to invest in you. Now, is it a man that will? Because let's be very honest here. Even the ugliest, most unattractive woman can still find some sex.
Yeah. True.
It is somebody desperate in that club at 3:00 in the morning. They see her sitting by that bar, and every man has been in this situation. They see her by that bar at 3:00. Everybody's leaving. She's just over there looking like, you know, and it's like, and you and most, we've all been there.
Yeah.
But that's not happening to a man at 3:00. If you're out of shape, you're at that bar, your clothes don't look right, you might as well leave. Beat the rush. Just get to your car, go
But what does
home,
that do to a
listen to
man?
music. I mean, I think it makes a
does that do
man.
to-
I think it builds character. Like, that should make you
Correct.
want to go to the gym. That should make you want to
Correct.
come back in there with a wife beater on, a 6-pack. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that should do.
And if you don't, that is your own doing, right? Because you
Correct.
knew.
Correct. Correct.
So
yeah.
that's why I'm like, with women, it's delusional. Like, a lot of people, well, a lot of women, think I harp on women because I don't like women and I'm a woman. That don't make no sense. But I harp on women a lot because we're not realistic, and then we complain about the reality and what we're not getting. Right? When they go to men, it's like, he's been humbled his entire life.
Telling you. Yeah.
His entire life, right? You have, boys in school, these high school boys, girls tell them, oh, you're broke, you're this, that. And mind you, they're in school, like, we're in school together.
Yeah.
And you're telling me I'm broke,
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, they had to learn to say, okay, what do I need to do to get better?
Yeah.
When you have somebody that never gets told they need to get better, they think they top shelf.
Yeah.
Telling you.
I get that.
And then by the
I
time they
think
get to
really
somebody that
believe-
is top shelf, and they looking at them like, no, you ain't. They're like, all my life I've been told I was top shelf. They lie.
Yeah, like as they say, that they come from the generation where everybody got a trophy, at the end of the season, so they never really got a chance
Yeah,
to
they never
understand like the
cried.
hierarchy of it. So there's another person who is, she's rising to the top in regards to like a voice of an expert around relationships, and that's I think her name is Dr. Bryant. You guys seen her
Bryant.
online?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar. Give me tune. Give me tune.
Somebody might have to help me key in on her, but
She's on that. She's on that. So she talked to Cam Newton.
Yeah.
That was one of her most famous ones.
She
Okay.
ate
When
him
she was
up.
talking to Cam Newton.
Ate
So
him up.
basically, is that the one that told him he shouldn't be sleeping with multiple women?
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
one. And so my question to you all is, because she's her following has grown massively from that interview and the other interview with Nick Cannon, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It seems like I think I saw she's around 42 years old, never been married, doesn't have kids. And so my question is, is she a person that you all would take relationship advice from, or do you all think that?
I can take advice from a child, but you're 42, you've never been married. I would kind of quit and get it. I'm not familiar with her. I haven't scrolled through her Instagram. I never met her. But when you're 42, you said no children?
That's what I perceive.
Has she ever said like it was a reason why she couldn't have children, or was she never chosen? Because that's two different things. But
Yeah.
but nevertheless, like I feel as though, you know, I can take advice from her, but I would really just be like, you know, you were never chosen. You were never chosen to tell me about what I'm doing in a relationship. Like I feel like a ring, because listen, women control the sex. Men, we control the ring. We control if we gonna get on our knees and commit ourselves to them for life. I mean that's just reality.
Yeah.
Nobody has gotten on their knees that she wanted and married her. So it's like, and then at 40, because I can argue and say, if she's in her 30s, she still has time. And I'm not saying she can't get married, but to give relationship advice when you haven't been chosen, a man hasn't invested in you or thought of you in that light, that's diabolical work.
But what if she has actually been proposed to or invested in, and she said no because it wasn't the direction for her to
Then
go?
again, that's not the man that she wanted. Now it hits different. Anybody can get married. I can get married tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But and any woman can get married tomorrow. You know, because they're the hunted. But if the man that you wanted never got on their knees and married you, just go to Kevin Sam. That's Kevin Sam. Kevin Sam was saying you can't get a man. You're not getting a high valued man. You're not getting a man that's worth a damn. You're gonna get Tyrone that's gonna come over and eat your kids' fruit snacks. Somebody got to keep it real. That's the slogan on the show. You're gonna get that man that he has a decent job, and there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 at all. But you got a decent job, but you're not gonna get that man that's pulling up in a Maserati with straight teeth, and he's not gonna be dark skinned. So that's just not gonna happen, in my opinion.
I knew
You knew it was coming. It was gonna come. It was gonna come. It was gonna come.
No, but no, you're right. You're absolutely correct. At the end of the day, if you don't do all the stuff that you're supposed to do, you're not gonna get them. And what's her name, Bryant? I don't know why anybody listens to that woman. And there's plenty of women that you can listen to. She's not one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't see what no, I do see. It's because she goes at men that they don't like. Or she goes at men that they think that need humbling. And Cam Newton is one of those men that women think needs humbling.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she's still single.
Right.
And I don't want to hear that, oh, she's single because she want to be. No. At 42, she's not single because she wants to be. She's single because don't nobody want her.
I'm telling you. Wow.
And 9 times out of 10, it's because of how she acts. That woman is like it's what I was talking about earlier with the whole I'm a doctor and I'm this and I know what. Don't nobody want to hear that.
Yeah. It seems like there's this perception that like by waiting out, like holding off, like so maybe there's someone who would be a decent spouse, but I'm gonna wait a little longer because I'm expecting that once I finish school, by that time I'll be on another level, so I'll have another level of options at me, right?
Yeah, I think that right there is what you call fear of missing out. And I feel like a lot of people in this generation have fear of missing out, and not just dating, but just in life in general. And that's where a lot of the dynamic of just a hiccup in who you date, it changes everything. Because if I'm scared that, if I date this person and then maybe I get married by this person, have a child by this person, like, but does he know like the type of people I used to date or this, that, and the third? But you're not dating them anymore. You're not dating them now. And this is the person that you're with, People have fear of missing out of something else in the world. And then that's when you lose out on the one that got away,
That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, me personally, like most women in this generation are ran through, so I don't feel like I would be missing out on a lot personally. And that's just the culture. Am I lying? Yeah, that's just the culture. Most of the women, they're ran through. And I'm not just talking, so we're not just talking about me waiting. It's like 20, 30, 40, 50 other men have passed go. and I'm supposed to be the one sitting there with my dice on a Monopoly board, like, you know what? I'm just wait, y'all go ahead. Nah, that's
I think
diabolical.
I
I'm
think
not doing
women
that.
wait too long because at the end of the day, like you're not gonna get no prettier, right?
Mm.
So
That's deep.
you reach a peak at some point, right? So
Yeah.
okay, you're pretty.
Yeah.
It's not gonna magically get any prettier. So the only place you got to go is down.
Mm.
Why
Hmm.
would you wait until you start, it starts devaluing? Like when you first
Yeah.
win a trophy, like you love it, you want to show it off to everybody, and after
Hmm.
a while, it's on a shelf, it's dusty, and it don't look like it did when you first got it.
Yeah.
So
Tally. Don't
I'm
feel the
just
same
like,
either.
at the end of the day, you can go and get a degree
Mm-hmm.
and look for men.
Mm.
And I tell women this all the time, you might as well do it one when you have your best looks,
Wow.
when you're at your best, you don't have all of this, stuff to boggle you down, you don't
Yeah.
have any kids and all this other stuff. And you're at a place, especially if you're in school, you're at a place where there's multiple men on the come up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But
Business
that's a
degrees, all this stuff.
yeah, and but that point that you're making is a really sensitive like space for like especially in our community, in particular like in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area where you know the sense is that our sisters have a chance to have their cake and eat it too. Like I should be able to pursue my doctorate, you know, and take my time in choosing how I want to date. Like there doesn't need to be a sense of urgency for dating because there should be, these options when I get older. So
I think now you
Yeah, but
gotta
that's
you gotta
because they're looking at
choose.
it on.
The same playing field.
Yeah.
Men and women are not the same. Like I know most men, they're not as attractive when they're younger
Mm-hmm.
as women are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
I can't
So
wait for that
so
salt and
men don't
pepper to
get to
come.
men don't get to
Explain.
be fine up front.
Yeah.
Women, they're like, they come into puberty, you like, man, you look great. By the time they 18, they got everything.
Yeah.
Men, they still walking around here, they look scrawny, they skinny, they don't look like nothing, right? So women get something up front. It's a trade-off on the back end.
Yeah.
Men don't get that instant, gratification up front. They gotta work for it, but it's a trade-off on the back end because in the latter half of life, you get to, enjoy the fruits of your labor if you actually, do what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's
I
not the same thing. You can't measure it the same.
yeah,
I think, and this is my opinion, and I know this to be true, but it's my opinion. I think if a woman wants to be a wife, and especially in 2025, you have to put everything aside and choose a man that can provide. And I mean, when I say everything aside, I mean put your degree aside. You should put literally everything. You should put your bank into being a wife. And if it doesn't pan out, you get a divorce and you can take half of the money. That's what it's for. Like, but going out for the degree
yeah,
and thinking that, all right, I'm going to find a man. No, because that clock. Let's talk about that clock. You
Yeah.
got 30, 36. Most women are like, if they don't have a kid, or they're getting some cats, or they're adopting. And that's just what it is. Somebody got to keep it real. So with
Yeah.
that being said, I think while you got that, you're 18 to 36, that should be spent finding a man that can provide for you and a family. And that's it. If you spend your time getting these degrees, the chances of you getting a cat are very high. A couple cats.
So let's spin the conversation a little bit. So if you think of the commodity, the most valuable commodity that we have as human beings, the most valuable resource that a human being has, what would you guys say it is?
Reproduction.
Okay.
Yeah, I can vouch on that population for sure. Yeah.
So and think about resource as in like currency, right? Something that you can spend, you can invest, you can waste, you can save. Like what would it be?
Land.
Okay. Mika, you have an answer?
You said the
Most valuable
what?
resource
Most
that a human being has.
Time.
this
This is not something that's natural, like
Yeah.
nothing on my body.
Time.
Yeah.
No, it's
Ah,
100% time.
Time.
I'ma
Yeah.
go
Because if
with
you don't
time.
have time, if you run out of time, then you're gone, right? So
It's the only thing. It's the only thing that you can that you can't really quantify,
yeah.
right? Because you can't really, yeah, you can't really put your finger on it. So you have to monitor it, right? And you got, there's people that I see they have 24 hours. It's 24 hours in a day,
Yeah.
and when you got the same 24 hours, how is it that I got this, and this done, and you only got that done?
right. That's right.
Mhm.
And I was bringing it up because most people, their perception is that, okay, when I'm in the dynamics of dating and marriage, that that resource like money is the most valuable thing and should be the central the thing that I focus most on should be money. That's the perception, right? But is that true? And does money really bring healthy relationships and happiness? And does it bring, wellness for the children thereafter? Like, think about how many people who were raised from very successful parents, that had all these means and money, but then the children committed suicide, or they ended up on drugs, or they ended up, choosing an alternative lifestyle. Like, so I say all that to say is, like, how valuable and how central should money be in a relationship versus other things?
I don't think you should get in a relationship without money. I mean, I'm telling you, and this is for all the men out here that's listening. If you don't have money, somebody's gonna pull up in a nice car when your girl's going to work, and it could be the work wife. If your wife is a nurse or girl's a nurse, it's a doctor in there.
Yeah.
He has money and she knows it. She's taken. You might can keep it. You can keep it to pay all the bills, but I think money is definitely underneath of time. If we're talking about, I think resources, I'm just say resources are very important. And really with resources, your wife doesn't even have to have a work husband. She doesn't even have to. She can be at home. Now the mailman can have a shot,
Well, yeah.
but I take my chances with the mailman.
Or the
You
pool
right.
boy, right?
The pool boy. The pool boy, he's right there, no shirt on.
Okay.
He's not doing anything. He's doing, your wife's looking from the balcony. So, but I'm telling you, not having money puts you in a terrible situation as a man. Terrible situation, because what are you going to do? She's going to ask for something that you don't have. And the fact that she knows you don't have it, Tyrone's going to get her eventually. Tyrone's going to get her. I'm telling you. When you know what he going to lead with? Because I'm telling you, he's going to lead with, hey, look, I got some paper. Tyrone ain't do what? Oh, poor little tink. Your woman is gone. So, I mean, I think you definitely need money in a relationship. Hands down. You need it.
Got you, bro.
No, I think you do.
I don't think
I
money
definitely
is
think-
that important, though.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't think money is that important. I feel like, that saying, like, more money, more problems, you know? Money can't buy love. Money can't buy happiness. Money can't buy friends, real friends. So I think, yes, of course, everyone in this world needs it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the importance in a foundation for any type of relationship. You don't build off of money.
Yeah.
Money is important in taking care of the family and providing, but it's not, it's a necessity, but it's not the most valuable thing when building a foundation, a solid, healthy foundation.
Yeah.
Because you can easily just earn money over time, like with time.
Yeah.
You can.
I mean, how long are you going to hold Tyrone down if he doesn't have any money?
Oh, I didn't say all that.
That's what I'm saying. See, there we go. If you ain't gonna hold Tyrone down, like he loses it. Now listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't hold your significant other down. I'm not saying that at all. But how long is the lack of money gonna be? Like the love is not gonna last that long. I'm just saying.
No, I think it's more so about just when you're dating a person, you have to actually be dating them because you want to be with them and not because of the potential. I learned a long time ago, don't date somebody for the potential. Date them for who they are in that moment and then grow with that person. So Tyrone and holding it down and all of that, like, If you're okay with doing that for the rest of your life and not expecting a potential, oh, he might win $1 million from the lottery, or he might have something that happens like 5 years from now and a big promotion. If you're happy with that person in the moment and where they are, just that's the foundation. That's where it starts.
Yeah, I get it.
I think it's two things with what you just said. So the problem with dating when you get to a certain age is that you now have an expectation, right? Especially as a woman, right? Because now you know more than likely you at least have some form of uh stability with money and all this other stuff, and you've dated certain type of men, and so once you've done all that, now you've given yourself a expectation to where, okay, so this is what I expect, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't match up in the dating market, right? Versus if you would have did that, got a man when you were younger, and you maybe were, not so far along in your career, and you got with a guy that had, the potential, like I said, in high school or in college, right? They're telling you where they want to go. Now you can grow with that person, and you don't have a problem with it, because you both are on the same level in life,
Yeah.
right? And so women by nature are hypergamous. They don't never reach down. So if they ever have to do that, they're going to resent the man, which is why I keep saying you need to do it when you're younger. Because if you can't get the man up here when you're older, you're not going to want to reach down.
Got you. Yeah.
That's how they're going to feel. Even if it's not, that's how you're, as a woman, that's how you're going to feel. So you kind of set yourself up for failure, because you don't want to have to feel like, well, I have to settle.
Yeah. And what you see is that, like, most people, I mean, in this conversation that we're having, we are taking into account that people aren't static, meaning that, where you find a person doesn't mean that that's where they're always going to be. So, like, if using the example that you use, that a woman wouldn't reach down for a man that was in a place, but if he was skyrocketing up, like, so when you see the guy who is he's a college professional, he's a college athlete, and he's about to become a pro, and then you see a 35-year-old woman dating him right at the point where he's getting ready to go pro, right? So technically he's below her, but the expectation is that in short variety he's going to rise up.
Yeah, but he has more. But he has more. He has more capital than her, though.
Yeah, yeah.
He's in his 20s. He's gonna go here. She's already what, 30? What, 30? You said 30? What, 5?
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
You get, but that's because the men in where she is, more than likely they're like, yeah, I'm at a point where I have options.
Yeah.
Versus if you would have caught that man when he was, at the beginning stages.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's easier as a woman to catch a man in the beginning stages. You can have discernment and see what men are going places, what men want to do something, right? You don't like, because when you tell women this, a lot of women just think you're saying, "Oh, get a broke guy."
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. He may be not, in the best place financially right now. He's in college, or
Right.
he's in the beginning stages of his career.
Yeah.
But it's easier to catch a man there than to try to catch a man when he's already at the pinnacle where he wants to be, because then now he has a lot of options, and you
and
probably don't fit it.
indifferent to having her there versus when a woman says, okay, John, you're not where I would want my spouse to be, but I see that you're willing to commit to me, and we can do something and build something together. And I tell you, from a man's perspective, like that is the greatest gift that a potential spouse could give them is I'm going to go with you because I believe in you, that you're going to help build something for me and my future generation. And I'm a married man, and I've been married for 4 years. This is my second marriage, and I want to say that the man that I am today is not the man that my wife met, and it's been and I've been fortunate because I had someone who didn't just see me and measure me at the time in which she met me, but there was something that she saw that we could work on together, and we were able to create that mutual agreeableness, and create a vision to make 1 + 1 = 3, and we're on our way towards building something that's what 1 + 1 equals 11. And so, Metalworks, we from starting, from next to nothing, I was doing deliveries, and while she was a therapist, into a few short years later, we've got 70 employees, and and are making an impact out in the community. I see, and that's my story of like what was valuable that I received from my wife. So
Dr. Umar would be very proud.
I'm saying, I gotta say congratulations.
Thank you,
What
There
he
we
say?
go. From one
Are you
entrepreneur
going
to another.
invest?
Let's talk about the Realist TV. We got a lot of things coming for this season. So, I mean, just for all the people that follow us, they know we lost our YouTube channel tragically. Who knows what happened? I think it's because we're black. I think so. I'm not sure. We had a very successful episode of Flag on the Play. That's our balloon pop spinoff.
Yeah.
We didn't want to pop balloons. My great production team, shout out to the whole Realist TV production team, came up with the concept. Thought it was a great idea. We rolled with it, and we had a great episode. Very controversial. And I'll leave that for the people to check out. But they took our YouTube channel down because we're black, but we started a new channel.
Okay.
Hopefully they don't see this and decide to take this one down because we're black. But we have a lot of big things coming out, and I'm looking forward to it. New guests, big guests. We already had great guests, and we're just gonna continue to do the same thing.
All right, I love it.
And let me say, I got to
Mika,
shout out my great host. I can't shout out my producers without shouting out my great host, Mika the badass unicorn. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I don't know why I want to keep on saying. You know what I always want to say?
I know.
I know.
He always messes
I was
it
about
up
to
every
say
single
Peruvian. Listen, my great host, Unique. We're doing great things, and we're going to continue to do great things. I was about to say Peruvian. I stopped myself.
No, listen, the
I
Panamanian
stopped.
princess.
I don't know why
He can't ever get it right.
Oh
He
my
never
God.
will. He needs to know the world a
Oh
little
my
bit more,
God.
travel a little bit
that's
more, and
what
I
I
think
need
he's
to
gonna
do.
get it one of these days.
That's what I need.
One
I
of
was
these
about
days.
to say it. I don't know why I say Polynesian.
That's why
I
I don't
seen
put Cuban
Polynesian.
nothing in my bio. Nothing.
I was about to. I was
It is
so.
what it
Oh
is.
my God.
He ain't gonna get it.
He's never gonna get it.
Listen, they're biracial. They're both biracial, so they got these different cultures. I'm trying to learn it. I'm just strictly PG black, so we're learning.
PG black.
I don't even know what that's.
Well, hopefully the next time around we can Metalworks can get an invite. I'd love to have Christine meet you guys.
Okay,
That's
let's
my
do it.
wife, and she would be here, but naturally because we have a newborn, so
Okay.
Oh wow.
Congratulations to that.
yeah, 52 years old with a newborn. So
There we go. Dr. Sapie.
Yeah, and interesting enough,
Tried.
like my adult sons, they're raising him as much as I am. So this is kind of like a full circle. But
I have a question.
Sure.
Your adult sons, do any of them have kids?
No, they don't.
Oh, because I was gonna say the dynamic of the uncle being the younger than the the nieces or the nephews is crazy.
But I'm kind of looking forward to it. I don't want them to have kids too early.
Yeah.
But I do want this son to be raised closer. Like I want to kind of close the circle. Does that make sense? Because already I'm 52, so by the time he's into like all the fly stuff that the youngins are in, like it's gonna be hard for me to try to keep up with it. But
He's gonna have his brothers.
he's got his brothers, and then right shortly thereafter, hopefully some years, they get married and then they have kids. So we have a smaller circle of like influence. So
There we go.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So, again, I mean, I was really, I'm really excited about this show that we did today. I think that, we hit on some great topics. You guys were phenomenal. I'd love to have you guys come back.
Okay, back.
We normally dive a lot more into like generational trauma, and some of the impact that it has on our community and some of the things that we see of how it plays out in society. You go on, on video and you see people cursing each other out and fighting and stuff like that. And a lot of that has to do with, people who are not able to regulate their emotions and, who have gone through these, severe PTSD. So maybe next time we can dive a little bit deeper or a little closer to that.
We're gonna talk it into existence. That's the conversation for next time.
Yeah.
Y'all make sure y'all tune in. Nah, that's dope. I think that's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. Like I said earlier, these single parent households, even other than the hanging hoop earrings and everything like that, like it's you learn conflict resolution from your parents.
Yeah.
If you see your mother and your father, they ultimately at the end of the day they have a conversation, they're able to sit there and bring some type of peace to the situation. That brings it. But when you see your mother, and especially if she's in and out, you got different men in and out of the house, it's conflicts, negativity, and you just sum it up to negativity, like that's ultimately how you're going to handle yourself. And the incarceration rate, especially in our community, speaks to that.
That's right. There you go. That's right. So like you said, that's our next topic, y'all.
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm here for it.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Talk to you
for
soon.
having us. Thank you.
All right. That's it.
People don't know how to address trauma because with trauma comes with love. It causes emotion, and some people don't know how to handle emotion, and because they don't know how to handle emotion or just operate around it, then they don't know how to handle trauma. And then next thing you know, you're attracting somebody that probably has trauma as well. And now you guys are soul tying and trauma bonding, and the cycle just continues and continues and continues.
Yeah.
100%. Birds of a feather flock together.
Definitely.
You're going to attract exactly what you push out to the world. So, if you full of trauma, I don't feel like you should even pursue anybody. But at the same token, I can understand how somebody has trauma, and the best way, in my opinion, to get over somebody is in the arms of somebody else. So, with that being said, I get it. But at the same token, I think you should choose therapy before you choose a spouse, But we all do it. We're human beings. Nobody's perfect. So, are we live? We getting some good content already. Is this live? We live?
I was gonna ask that. What